Tonight, Underground Nation dives headfirst into the collision of metal and mayhem as one artist continues to blur the lines between crushing guitar riffs, earth-shaking bass, and raw emotion. Hailing from Austin, Texas, he's built a sound that lives somewhere between the chaos of a mosh pit and the energy of an all-night rave. Inspired by legends like Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, and Sullivan King, he's on a mission to prove that heavy music doesn't belong in a box. It belongs on the biggest stages imaginable. From face-melting performances to anthems fueled by passion, rebellion, and release, he's creating music that hits just as hard emotionally as it does physically. Whether he's in the studio crafting his next masterpiece or on a stage igniting a crowd, one thing is certain: Zakk, Emery isn't here to blend in. Now, stepping into the hot seat of the Underground Nation podcast, prepare yourselves for a conversation about music, sacrifice, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of a dream. Joining him, as always, is the red-headed flame herself, Feral Minx, ready to uncover the stories behind the artist and the fire that drives him. Underground Nation, turn it up, and welcome to the show, Zakk, Emery.
What's up, Underground Nation? It's time once again to dive beneath the surface and shine a spotlight on the artists, creators, and visionaries carving their own path through the noise. I'm your redheaded flame, Feral Minx, and tonight we've got an artist who's bringing the chaos of metal and the energy of bass together in one explosive experience. Hailing from Austin, Texas, he's a songwriter, performer, and sonic architect who blends crushing guitar riffs, live vocals, heavy bass drops, and raw emotion into a sound that's impossible to ignore. Inspired by artists like Sullivan King, Avenged Sevenfold, and Metallica, he's creating music for those who want more than just a song. They want an experience. Whether he's igniting a stage, tearing through speakers, or channeling chaos into this artist is proving that metal and electronic music does not just coexist. They thrive together. Underground Nation, please help me welcome Zakk Emery.
Hi.
I'm so glad you can make it. I don't know about you, but I know it's been a busy day for me.
No, I had a pretty busy weekend. I've been recovering the past few days, so I've been here.
Busy weekend. Well, hopefully a good busy weekend. Heard recovery.
Yeah. I just got back from Illfest. So for people who aren't from Austin or the Texas EDM scene, it's a 3-day festival that they have at the same place they have the rodeo. Mm-hmm. And I was actually working this one, so that was fun. All I had to do was work during the day, and then at night we were able to go out and just do whatever we wanted. And we did everything we wanted.
Oh my. Noted. Well, I mean, I guess it's not the only kind of rodeo that you have in that stadium, apparently, then.
Well, it's not my first one either.
Well, there you have it. Good golly, Miss Molly. We just jumping right on in. So, for listeners hearing your music for the first time, who is Zakk Emery?
Well, I every time people ask me this story, I never know where to start. I guess the shortened version is I wanted to start playing guitar when I was 9 or 10 years old, and I was one of those little brothers where everything the older brother did, I just wanted to do the exact same thing. So play guitar, ride a skateboard, play PlayStation, all that stuff. And so he's the one who started showing me all this music that no one else was really listening to at the time. And I'm going to name up some artists where people are going to be like, oh, AFI, Coheed and Cambria. Yeah, we all know them. Yes, you all do, but he knew them first. You know, before Guitar Hero, before Rock Band, before the golden age of YouTube. He was, playing all this music that I'd never heard before. No one else really had. And so that's when, and he was also showing me classic rock as well. Between him and my dad showing me all these bands and all these artists, and no other type of music to me, ignited those feelings of, oh, I just want to I just want to move. I feel so excited.
Absolutely.
Nothing, again, I was a little kid, so nothing on Disney Channel is going to do that.
No, I remember those days and in the car, with my dad just plugging in the tape. At that time, it was just cassette tapes, Yeah, just putting them in Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, all of them, kind of your first experience. That's kind of who you actually start developing yourself as, because that's your first taste of music is through your parents, through your elders.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, something else that also really shaped everything. My dad showed me School of Rock when I was a little kid. And then for some reason, I just had that movie on repeat all the time. I don't think people give Jack Black enough credit for how many music careers he actually started for pretty much every child has ever seen that movie. He's an
amazing person, man. Just amazing, period. He is an amazing actor. I love him. My kids love him. I loved him growing up, and my kids love him. Yeah,
well, it's funny because my dad showed me School of Rock, and then my stepdad showed me Tenacious D. I was way too young for that one.
I was going to say, that's kind of like different spectrum there, but okay. All right. YOLO.
Yep. So that is what started the obsession with just wanting to play guitar and sing in front of large crowds of people. And that obsession has only grown. And so I spent a good amount of my childhood and my youth playing in different cover bands. And what was really frustrating was growing up is both my dad and stepmom lived in southern Utah. Music scene there was pretty much non-existent, and the music that we did have was just a bunch of these indie bands.
Country, indie.
I couldn't think of any metal bands at the time. Then again, I wasn't in that scene because it was a big Mormon community, and so growing up Mormon, you were forbidden from going anywhere near those places.
Oh my! Well, that's a whole different perspective.
Oh yeah,
and kind of glossing over that right there. I mean, growing up in that environment in that area, did that have a big influence over the type of music that you were exposed to from the beginning?
Yeah. Actually, the opposite of exposed. It was things I was really not allowed to listen to until I'm handed an iPod, where I'm like, oh, okay, I can just put anything I want on here. But yeah, it was the opposite. Like no Linkin Park. Every time I bought a CD, the lyrics book had to be looked over and make sure there was no F words in it.
So I guess that had to be difficult. Not really having that.
Yeah, it was for a little bit, but of course, how kids are. They always find ways around things.
Resilient little things.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of difficult. And then on top of that, just being in this Mormon community, a lot of people had just this one-track way of thinking where, it's not a cult, but at the same time, if you dare to think or want to do anything in any other way than what's already accepted there, then, it was bad.
Yeah, you no longer belong there.
Yeah. And, that's what I initially thought was wrong with that place, but it wasn't until I went to go live with my mom when I was 14 or 15 is when I went to a different environment thinking, okay, I'll actually thrive here more. I won't be with all those Mormons. And then that's when I found out pretty quickly, oh, it's not them, it's me.
Oh, no. Okay, what do you mean it's not them, it's you?
I'm a very different person. I don't think the same way other people do. I don't learn the same way. Things can be blatantly obvious to you, and then I'll look at it, and then I'll struggle to understand how these things work. But we can actually get into that in a little bit. I just wanted to...
You just kind of piqued my curiosity, and just saying that I have autistic children. And that's something that my son does. So to be staring him right in the face, you ask him to go pick up something, or, grab that cup right there off the counter. And he's sitting there looking all around, and it's literally right in front of him.
There's a lot of cups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting, because I've seen similar firsthand. So, but it's different. That's just different. That you're right. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, bro. You're different.
Yeah, we'll tell them that.
Some artists wait to be discovered. Others step into the shadows and take their shot. Welcome to Mic Check Thursday, hosted by the host with the ghost, Bounceball Boogie. Every week, the Boogeyman opens the gates, searching for the realest voices in the underground. No industry politics, no fake hype, just raw talent and honest feedback. Think you've got a hot track? For just 99 coins, submit your song and get one guaranteed play live. Get reviewed by Bounceball Boogie and the full panel of creatures from the Boogieverse. And if your sound hits different, you might earn something most artists never get: a personal invitation to a spotlight interview on the official Underground Nation podcast. This isn't a contest. This is a gateway to exposure, to community, to your next level. Join us live for Mic Check Thursday. Bring your track, bring your courage, and step into the boogie verse. The underground is watching. Are you ready to be heard?
So, was there a specific moment when you realized music was more than just a hobby?
It was never, I don't think it was ever really a realization. So it's interesting. I don't want to say funny. I want to say interesting that you have autistic children yourself. You might notice that there are things that will pique their interest. It'll be the most random things, but then they just won't stop obsessing over it.
Hyperfixating.
Exactly. They need to learn everything about it. They need to figure out, how that works. Where did it come from? Everything surrounding it.
Where do you think they got the autistic gene from?
I don't know where I got it from. So
it runs. Let's just say I'm the common denominator amongst all the children. Okay.
Fair enough.
I can't blame it on all their daddies. Now I might be able to blame it a few, a couple, but I'm the common denominator. So we gonna call it as it is for what it is. But you know what? It is, and that is a wonderful thing in itself, because it can be used as an amazing tool where people can't see and understand some things, and in turn you hyperfixate on that, and you can see it in all the levels and the dimensions and everything, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, that is true. So there was never any moment where I thought music is more than just a hobby. It was just something I had adopted, and I haven't stopped, because there's always something new to be learning. It started with, okay, how do I play guitar? What kind of guitar do I want? What makes certain guitars sound the way they do? How do I play this style of music? How do I play this one? And then it got to the point where I'm like, okay, how do I put a band together? How do I manage all these people? And that actually leads me into how I got into EDM. Is I had started my own band back in Washington when I was, around 20. And we were actually doing pretty good for a little while. However, there was always somebody who drank too much. There's always somebody who needed a ride somewhere. There was always somebody who had their own, personal... am I allowed to swear on this podcast, or...?
Absolutely, hon.
Yeah, there's always someone who had their own bullshit going on. There was always something.
There's always that one Karen, man. Always someone.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was perfect either, but it was, I'm actually the reason why the band broke up and I had to move back down here. Side note, that it was on my birthday, the Motley Crue movie just came out on Netflix.
Mm.
And I was an impressionable 21, 22-year-old. And I thought, I got to do that. So that
shiny squirrel now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what started that. It wasn't really anything all that serious. Like, of course, I shouldn't have done as many drugs as I did. I shouldn't have spent all the money that I did, and I shouldn't have been hanging out with the people that I was. But I just thought that's what rock stars do. The other side of all that.
That's a common conception. I think a lot of people have that idealized and glamified, image of rock stars or live in the music industry, that entertainment life, that fast life. And it can, realization can hit you really hard on that.
Yeah, well, especially, I saw the movie and then some years later I read the book. And the reason why a lot of them can get away with living lives like that, for one, it was just the time period where they'll be living in places where they don't have to pay rent. They would actually steal a lot of their music equipment. They might have jobs, they might not. They'll just be eating just whatever they can get their hands on. And yeah, those lives when they're first starting out are not very glamorous. The lives they'll start to look better, but they don't. It's pretty much, it's not one thing, it's another. It's always something they have to deal with. And we only see the bands that actually made it big. Yeah, there's a reason why there's a stigma around rock stars and why a lot of them will be living in poverty, who will, just live miserable and happy lives, because there is actually a lot more who didn't make it because their lives are just constantly partying.
Yeah. And I feel like that also has a big impact, honestly, in today's up-and-coming artists. I feel like a lot of them have that mentality, that's that mindset. They don't understand the actual business and the structure and the work that's put into it and to actually being successful. It's not just about getting your foot in the door. It's not just about that initial, meet and greet. It's what are you going to do once you're there? How are you going to do it once you're in there? And a lot of those decisions and choices can end up one way or the other.
Yes, of course. Well, that was something I had learned the hard way. I had to leave Washington, and then I came back down here to live with my parents for a little while. And I was trying to get my band back together because all the songs are mono. The music was mono. All I had to do was just change the members, and that proved to be so much harder than I thought it would.
Simple logic, not a good reality, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it's... Everybody who was talented wanted to join something established, and everybody who wanted to join something that didn't care about being established, they were not talented, or the gear wasn't good, or they just were not very easy to be around or talk to, for that matter. But and to make things worse, COVID was happening around that time. Yeah,
the good old Rona, man.
Yeah, the old Rona. But my ex-girlfriend at the time, we actually met at an Excision show. That was actually the week before everything closed down. We had met at an Excision show, and she was the one who was like, "Oh, I'm going to show you all these other artists, including one in particular, Sullivan King." We were doing something, and then a song was playing, and I'm like, wait a second, this is a dubstep song, but he's singing, screaming. There's a guitar solo in it. Yo, where the fuck did this come from? Who was this?
Amazing.
And she looks at me like I'm crazy. She's like, "That's Sullivan King. That's one of the biggest artists, like, you know, in the world." Back then, but especially right now. But this was like 5 or 6 years ago. And I thought, oh, okay, that's what dubstep can be. Let me look into this some more. And, you know, we would go to different places, and I'd see these DJs, and then I'd see that it was just them up there. They were making their own music. They were the only ones they had to worry about. Of course, there was like 2 or 3 of them at times, but you know, that's less than half of the people that I was usually having to deal with. And I thought, that looks so much easier. Why don't I just do that?
So when you made that shift, was it more or less for the simplicity of not having to manage a bunch of other individuals versus the actual talent and you know, just being able to do it all on yourself and control that?
I mean, if I was to have found a group of people that could seamlessly work together, that would have been great at the time. However, the way I had understood people at that time, and actually the way I understand them now, is that, you know, you can't really control them. You can't just say, hey, you know, we're trying to build something here, so can you please just get it together for a little bit? Just learn the songs, just come to practice, come to the gigs, and, you know, don't start drinking or anything until after the show.
I feel that last one was personal. Just like, I feel that there was a name that deserves that one right there.
I'm not going to say it.
We're not naming it, but you know, if you know.
No, we're not. But it's like, oh, I have stage fright. I just got to get a few drinks in me. Okay. I don't know about you, but where I come from, a few drinks is not an entire bottle.
Holy sweet baby. Was he still able to, I mean, did he have an instrument? Could he stand? Wow.
He could stand, but he would just mess up a lot.
So, oh my goodness. That is definitely cause for some issues in communication and networking, and it just within yourself. I could definitely understand that, those being problems. And no, you can't control what everybody else does, unfortunately. But it is a beautiful thing when you can get a group of people together collectively with the same intent and the same motives and the same ambitions, and beautiful things happen.
There's this world beneath the surface, a place where raw talent lives, where voices go unheard until now. Welcome to Underground Nation, the home of the unheard, the stage for the next wave, the movement where artists, entrepreneurs, and creators rise from the shadows and take their place in the spotlight. Head over to underground-nation.com, download the app today, and step inside the experience. Dive into exclusive news articles, unfiltered reviews, powerful podcasts, and a full collection of magazine issues showcasing talent from across the globe. Discover your next favorite artist before the world catches on.
the devil tonight. Vape and fire, I'll be by your side. The devil's a liar, the devil's a liar, my love will never die.
But in those situations where that's not, other beautiful things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like I don't like working with people. I mean, I've had a few collabs these past few years, but that's just a lot easier. A lot of times someone will come to you with an idea and say, they'll tell me, do you do vocals or can you do guitar or can you do both? And I'll just do that with them. Or I'll come to a friend and say, hey, I wrote this entire song. I literally just need you to put your vocals on it or something like that. She's a huge Michael Jackson fan. And I remember one day I thought, hey, we could actually do a cover / remix of Beat It. And I remember we're in a group of people and then I kind of called her out and I'm like, hey, so we could actually do this and you can't say no right now. And then she's like, you're right, I can't. So let's do it.
Oh, but you cornered her.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that was a dirty move. Touché, sir. Very well done. But dirty.
Yeah. How is this going to come back to haunt me in the future? Anyways,
yeah, karma.
Anyways, so yeah, I not written, but I recorded the song, added the bass drops and everything to it. And I sent it to her, says, okay, I want you to sing here. She'll come back to me and say, okay, but the way you have the song is a little long. We should take out these parts. And, so she was right. The song was a little long, and so she told me she cut it down. So we ended up releasing it, and there was a few events that she threw that we ended up playing it on, and so that was cool. We did that last summer, and nice. We're two very different artists too. So that was like the only time we're gonna do it again with another song, but that was the only time me or her would have been in each other's like spaces like that.
That's nice when you can kind of blend and create something from different things, which is kind of how you found this style to begin with. Those are two completely different sounds. And, it merged and it's just, blowing doors open, to all kinds of different creativity, and going on your creative process, when you're making all of that. What usually comes first for you? The riff, the melody, the lyrics, or the drop?
It is almost always the riff. It's always the riffs. And, I've had this question in my head for like a while of me being on someone's show and they were going to ask me, how do you write songs? And so, yeah, it's mainly the riff because I'll be messing around with my guitar and then I'll think, oh, hey, this sounds kind of cool. The riffs will come first, but before I even touch anything else, before my computer or my guitar, I'll have these, being a DJ, you put a lot of songs together and I'll think of, one or two songs that I think, okay, I want to make a song like this, but also make it sound like that. And the song that I actually just released called Crucify Me, I was thinking, okay, I want a like late 2010s metalcore style intro. Metalcore style, like pretty much all the way through it, like kill switching.
You nailed that part. I'm going to tell you did.
Oh, hope you don't mind. I got a guest star here.
Oh my goodness.
You want to say something? Oh.
Yeah, sir.
He usually does. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, we love guest appearances, especially, the furry kind.
Yeah, this is Milo.
Well, hello, Milo. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm sure that is a big inspiration, and if not a supervisor of your work to make sure that everything stays how it should.
Oh, yes. He makes sure I wake up on time.
Good job, Milo. We appreciate your services.
See that? There he goes. Yeah, usually whenever he has another voice over the speakers or somewhere, he wants to see what's going on.
Of course, just inquisitive.
Wants to monitor his home. But yeah, so for Crucify Me, I wanted to put that late 2010s or late 2000s, early 2010s metalcore style together. With drops, I'm still crafting, like putting my electronic sound together because I have like these sounds in my head that I want to make. But of course, these sounds are from producers who have been doing it for a long time, who work with, multi-million-dollar studios and other producers and executives. And then there's me with a laptop, not really understanding. If I'm being honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out how dance music works because playing rock and metal your entire life and then...
Which DAW do you use?
Ableton.
Okay. Have you messed around with like FL or Pro Tools or any of those?
I just knew that everyone used Ableton, so when I got the laptop and wanted to start messing around with it, I just thought, I need to get Ableton because that's what everybody else uses. I did not know that you could use those other ones.
Oh, sweetness. let me pull you into to our crew here. We're gonna pull you into the Boogieverse. There are so many people out there. I know so many producers and makers and creators and everything, and it's amazing. I can put you in connections with a lot of different people who do a lot of different things. There's all kinds of things. Something will click.
Yeah, well, same thing with the whole autism thing is like, I'll be staring at it for a long time trying to figure out how it works. And I actually do have a mentor who, I pay him for lessons. We've been going on for 3 years, and he'll have the same frustration. He's like, this is how dance music works. Like you don't only got to use like one big sound. And I won't use one big sound. I'll use like 4 of them at the same time thinking, oh, this sounds big and heavy. Okay.
I know several people that you would love to work with. They have the same kinds of ideas and sounds. It's just great. It really is. So going off of that, what your sound, what you have in your head versus, what you could create or what actually comes out, which song in your catalog challenged you the most creatively?
So Crucify Me actually challenged me the least, maybe because after all this time, I finally had a much better idea of how to just put things together. What challenged me the most? You know what? Let me actually look through the catalog because they've all each had their own set of challenges. And when it came to writing these things, so the rock song portion of them wasn't that hard because I knew what to do.
Right.
But as far as the electronic portion, I was always just so dumbfounded. I'm like, okay, I know what sound I want to make, but I don't quite know how to make them. So I'm trying to look through all of them. If I'm being honest with you, each one of them all had the biggest same challenge of just not knowing what I wanted my drops to sound like or how to just piece them together. And the initial sound that I had in my head, it wouldn't come out that way because my mentor would have to go in there and be like, okay, I can't read your mind, so I'm just going to...
Make it easy.
Exactly. He's like, you're going to do this the way that I think we should. He took all the sounds that I had that we could use, and then he would just put in new ones that would be fine. And they wouldn't be at first quite the way I wanted them to be, but I just thought, okay, I'm over this. Let's just finish the song and then keep going.
So it sounds to me the problem is you honestly just don't know what tools. You haven't been given the proper tools to build your toolbox so that you can make it on your own. That's essentially the thing. You're just stuck with primitive tools right now. So you just need to get some better tools.
I don't want to say that I'm stuck with primitive tools. I've learned that, and I've seen these very talented artists who will use the exact same things or maybe even less than the tools I have right. And
when I say primitive tools, let me elaborate on that. I'm not talking about just the DAW in itself. I'm talking about just only being given a couple things to understand and not understanding everything, like not knowing how to get it out of your head and onto it into the computer.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I just...
That part.
Well, I just wanted to elaborate that no one else... Everybody else so far has been very helpful, and they have been helping me. It's just the way my brain works, trying to understand everything. It just takes me a lot of time to get it. So I just wanted to make sure that for anybody listening who thinks, oh, well, I help them all the time, or like we've been going at this for like a long time. What do you mean he's not helping? I'm like, no, everybody has been extremely helpful.
Brains work different.
Exactly. That's just what I wanted to.
Brains work different. And sometimes what seems so simple to somebody is not that simple to somebody else. What's common sense for somebody isn't always common for the next person. And, this is all where it goes back to being kind in general, because you never fully know. You really don't know, anything about the other individual that you're speaking to. So just assume that, hey, it's okay. They're different. That's fine. It's fine. As far as getting it to where you can understand, there's all different kinds of techniques and things. I'm assuming that you work better with either visual or there's another sensory that you can correspond and work better with as far as, memory and association with stuff.
It very much is my parents will tell you this too, is they'll explain something to me over and it's not until I leave for a little while, usually when I'm at work, and I'll just be working, I'll get into the work and then I'll start thinking and then it'll click. I'll be like, oh, you know what? Okay, that's what they were trying to say. That's what they were explaining to me. So it's there's this scene in Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, where his Sean Connery will just say, I found when I shut down, the solution will present itself. And then he sits down and then the door opens and he's like, sure.
Not a voice actor.
No, it's not him, but it's from Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you heard my song Hellraiser. Yeah, in my song Hellraiser, right in the middle of the drop, it says, oh, yeah. Or no, it says, oh, rough. Just the way mother likes it. Wow, 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 wow.
So many things that just get rid of. Yeah, okay, it's great. Oh, my goodness.
This summer, it's all about how you show up. Clean, bold, confident. Every angle, built to stand out. Two-piece energy, made to turn heads. Details that hit, front to back. One piece, two piece, up to 5x. Made for real bodies, real confidence. No distractions, no extras. Just the look and how it makes you feel. Only $34.99. Step into your moment. Make a splash. Own the pool.
So, I mean, honestly, okay, so what you've been through a lot with this. So would you consider like music a type of therapy for you, entertainment, or just something else entirely?
In the words of Liam Neeson, something else entirely. Autism brain again. Sorry, it's been it's going to attack us this entire time.
Listen, it's okay. I joke all the time with people. My brain works in 5 dimensions. Like everybody's right here. They are everywhere, and don't expect the squirrels to be all on the same level at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's not just the music itself that's got me so ingrained and captivated. It's just, and we're probably going to take the entire session to get to where I got into EDM. So
Right.
I like doing that. And I like meeting either like-minded or totally not like-minded people who they'll ask me, oh, well, I don't play metal. I'll play blues or I'll play classical or something like that. And then they'll want to know more about the kinds of things that I play at the same time. I'll ask them, well, if you play blues, what kind of environments do you play in? What kind of gear do you use? Do you like doing that? Does it make a lot of money? Things like that. So, you can find a nice community into it, which is really cool. Because I just like nerding out on so many things that aren't just music, but with music especially. And the more that I learn about it, the more we can also just start healthy debates over, well, Ableton's the best. Well, FL's the best.
That is not a healthy debate, sir. You know this.
Oh,
Those
no,
are
it
throwing
turns pretty hostile
stones.
pretty quickly, but it's okay. We're all out of the hospital now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like tossing AI into the mix. Oh, good grief. That's a controversy. And we just don't, no, that's like politics, man. I just don't get into it.
Oh,
I love to get into it. I love to get into it on a debate with other people who have that. But that now is not the time. Now is not the time. But so what inspires your darker themes and imagery?
At first it was just for the aesthetic of, things have to be black. You've got to use monsters in your imagery. You have to have long hair. You have to have tattoos. You have to do all these things. Back when we were talking about the Motley Crue movie where I saw it and I thought, okay, that's what my life has to be. So that's how it started. But being in the EDM community, it's actually, there's a lot more colors, a lot more outer or even otherworldly stuff going. For an example, I'm looking at my Excision poster right behind you right now. And so he wanted to be a paleontologist when he was younger, before he started doing music. So his whole thing is dinosaurs.
I did not know that. I like Excision, but I did not know that about dinosaurs.
But yeah, if you look, if you're playing one of his songs on your phone and you see his Spotify page, you'll see it's very dinosaur themed. And it might sound kind of silly. You'll think like Land Before Time or Jurassic Park. Like, no, it's all very, it's like, yes, prehistoric, but in the future somehow.
Hey, they already cloning them. Don't hold your breath. Never say never.
Oh, exactly. That'll be a nice Lost Lands 2035. Actual dinosaurs.
Y'all think COVID was a bitch. Yeah, just wait.
It's like, sorry, boss, I can't make it. There's a raptor on top of my car.
My dog ate the homework. Yeah, my T-Rex ate my mom.
It's like, no, good boy.
Oh, my goodness.
So you're allowed to have a lot more freedom with your imagery. And it's kind of just evolved at first I wanted to make everything all dark and edgy. I still want to do that, but it's actually gotten the music is heavy, but I want to acknowledge the dark parts of myself and also the light sides, and also have them kind of commingle. And we probably won't get into this now, but I've also written a comic book where I've started writing one. I've had some pages illustrated, but that was supposed
just about to
be,
ask, do you illustrate as well? Do you do the graphic part?
No, I paid someone to do it, but I did.
Okay.
I did write it all. But that book was supposed to be about a child who is actually the son of the devil. He doesn't want to be seen that way, so he decides to become a hero instead. And it's like comes from the darkness, but tries to be light. And then the two are kind of just like battling out inside, his own mind while he's just navigating his own life with powers of being a hero. So That's kind of how I want to do this same thing here. With this song, Crucify Me, I'm really not supposed to, well, I've been told not to get into like religion or politics when it comes to music because of the way people, might see or react to you, thinking that way. So politics, of course, I'll stay out of, but religion, it's like, no, hear me out for a second before you think anything. Not you,
Yes, I get it.
specifically, but just everybody. And so I did go through a lot of shit over the past few years. And the more I learn just about, science, like actual science, the more I learn about spirituality and the more I learn about like, manifesting and all this other stuff, I'm just thinking, okay, so there's a lot of things like here in the Bible, there's a lot of things that I've been taught about, God and the devil and all these stories is, okay, I'm noticing that there are actually things that I can believe to be true now. And I'll tell people that I don't believe in the entire Bible. And I also believe that a lot of the stories may have been misinterpreted or not translated correctly, all this other stuff. So I'm like, you know what, just take everything with a large grain of salt.
At the end of the day, it's a book. It's a
Exactly.
novel. It was
Exactly.
written.
And so I started going back to church, and I like this non-denominational church of go with my friends to, and then my other friends who I didn't even think were religious were like, hey, I want to go with you too. So that's been nice. And I started to get into a little bit of drama and bullshit with some other people around here in the scene, and I started to just feel like, yo, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad guy. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just out here just trying to play my music. I'm just trying to just preach my own gospel here.
Right?
You know, just like Jesus, like there's more to the
Well,
story.
you getting it. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, you
well-
damn sure got my attention. You scared me for a minute. I wasn't paying attention, and I turned around, and it was just in my face. I'm like, huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's how you got to do. But exactly. So the same way that you saw me, that's all I'm really trying to do here. In person and online is just I'm just trying to like just make my music and then put it out there for people to hear. And some people just didn't like that. Some big scary people actually. I won't get into all that, but it.
Big scary people. Oh, my.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It scared me.
Well, if it scares you, it's good enough to scare me. We're going to swipe left on that one for the big scary people. Y'all just go ahead, sit down, chill out. We ain't got nothing to talk about you.
That's the most fucked up part is like, I'm not even on their radar, but they still had to take the time to bully a smaller artist.
Yeah, it happens that way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It really does. But what do people misunderstand most about artists who create heavier music?
I think just the biggest misconception is that they are people who are just, on edge or loud or angry all the time. Where I guess for a good amount of the time, I'll be pretty on edge. Like I will be worried so much about everything, especially the older that I get, the more I'm worried about, okay, I'm worried about my future. I'm worried about my retirement. I'm worried about my relationships. I'm worried about, okay, am I going to get married? Am I going to have kids? Am I going to have enough money for marriage and kids? Am I going to have this? Am I going to have that? So yes, I'm very on edge. That's why I like this music. This music is just, it's louder than my own voice in my head. And just the sounds and then the rhythm and everything just allows me to latch onto something and just go with that. I'm not spiraling under my own rhythm. And so I think a good misconception people have is that they're just loud, angry people. And then they'll see me and then they'll immediately identify me as like, hey, you like metal, don't you? And I'll say yes. It's pretty obvious, especially in the kind of places I hang out in, because it's not that I don't like other metalheads or anything like that. It's just I don't have anybody else to go to these places with, so I just don't go to them. So yeah, a big misconception is that, there are times when they like to be calm. There are times when, they will enjoy things that doesn't really have to do with any of that. Like for example, here in Austin, they're having a candlelit string. I don't know if it's a quartet or if it's a whole orchestra, but they're playing Hans Zimmer music somewhere here in the city. And I got to look it up and see when that is because I've been wanting to go, but every time that pops up, it's always a few months from now. So that's why I just haven't looked at it.
Yeah, set a reminder. All right, you got to book it in a schedule. I do it all the time. I have a schedule. If it's not on my schedule, I forget about it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I should probably do that. And then by the time I remember it, oh, hey, when is this? Oh, it was yesterday.
Yep. No, but make sure in your schedule it notifies you at least 30 minutes to an hour beforehand.
Of course.
Yes. Big thing. It works fantastic. But, I did notice something that you were talking about, that you were thinking about your future and, and all that stuff with finances. Speaking on the business part, do you believe independent artists spend too much money chasing exposure that never converts into fans?
I think at first everybody does that. And then after a little while, we do start to see like, okay, our money can be better spent. Or there are easier and cheaper, more efficient ways to do this. So a good example for me is I really had a hard time wanting to make content to post online because a lot of people we'll look at TikTok and think, oh, that's just a place for influencers.
Right.
I'm a musician, not a content creator. Like I shouldn't have to be doing that. But for me, like with the kind of music that I play around here, I don't know a whole lot of promoters or bookers just yet who will get me like on stage in front of people. And until this one video was explaining how this is your new stage is online. You know, you don't have to live in a big city. You don't have to have a lot of connections. You don't have to. You have to have an iPhone, a ring light, and that's it. And you know, and I was still struggling for a little bit, trying to figure out, okay, what kind of content do I want to make? Like, I can't just dance in front of a camera. Well, you can. You can just dance in front of a camera to your own music.
You could,
but
not as impactful as the content that you are creating. I'll tell you that.
Well, sometimes that actually does work. I mean, there are times I don't know what else to post, so I'll just do it with the front-facing camera and just have it like in front of my face while I'm like singing the words or just headbanging to the bass drop, and that does pretty well. Just depends on what sort of mood the algorithm is in on that day. But that's when I started to look at it differently and think, okay, let me get better at this. And so what I think a lot of artists are struggling to understand now is there's a stigma around they feel like they don't want to make a fool of themselves for people online. But at the same time, they're just sitting in their bedrooms, making their music, putting it on SoundCloud, hoping people will like it, rinse and repeat, and then wondering why they're not getting anywhere, or not getting
there's no advertisement, there's no marketing.
And it's funny you asked me that question because there is a network here in Austin that some friends of mine had created a few years ago called the EDM Prosperity Network. We meet once a month and then we go through a different topic or a presentation. And so just this last one, I was among 3 other members who were doing a content creation workshop. And my presentation was, okay, guys, I get it. We don't like making content, but here's how to actually make it fun. And here's how to get out of your own heads and start to get it going. Mm-hmm. And I was going into, okay, you can do it from your house. You can do it from, downtown. You can find like cool spots here and there. To go just film in front of. And all I have to do is just pay my phone bill. That I do want to eventually, I've been saying this for the past few months ever since I moved into this apartment. If you can notice, my background's a little bare because there's just a wall, my TV, and then like a tapestry back there, and then my guitars. But
a lot of people like that though. It shows off your stuff. You have your guitars. A lot of people are just fine with that.
They might, but it's more for me. It's more for like, wait, I want to have a more exciting like living space, a more exciting background, just to loud up the place a little bit. But I still haven't done it. But one of the things I was talking about was like, guys, I'll post videos. I'll spend like a good 15 minutes, sometimes even half an hour, to trying to get it all made the way that I want it to. I'll put it on there. It'll get 200 to 300 views. It'll only get a few likes, and it'll go mostly ignored. That used to bother me. Now I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. I'll try again tomorrow, or maybe you posted at the wrong time. So sometimes you can take it down, post it again later, and it does better.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, there are ways to make your content better in order to grab people's attention. Like you said, like it scared you, like came at a.
Yeah, that one I was not playing. I was not prepared for it, okay? Let's just say that we was partaking in some herbal remedies, okay? I had to turn around. I was repacking, reloading, and I turned back around, and it was, oh, my sweet baby Jesus, it's in my face. It was there.
Wait, which one is that one? Is that my apartment?
Coming out the closet.
Oh.
It was not, you were in the closet, sir, and then you was definitely not in the closet no more, right in the face, right there.
Further context for everybody. It was a horror movie thing that I was doing where you turn the light off and then you see a silhouette and then you turn it on and it's gone. Do the same thing until I just jumped out of it. I didn't come out of a proverbial closet, just so y'all know.
Let's just get that clarification. Yes. No, let's clarify on the closet. Okay. It was his own closet, nobody else's closet.
No.
And no, there was no other insinuations behind that. I hope so. Other than just scaring the Cheez-Its out of random people who just happen to scroll by and see.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to tell everybody that like, look, this video is what got this person's attention. A person I never met. I got an emotional reaction out of her, and she commented on it, and she said, "Hey, I love your style. I love your energy. I'd love to have you on my show." And then I told everybody, I didn't look at her show. I didn't look at her profile. I didn't look at anything. The very first thing I did is I commented back and I said, yes, 100% yes, please. Whenever anybody wants to broadcast you like that, you always say yes.
That's important right there. And we're going to get a little clarification on this. Underground Nation magazine and podcast is not my show. I am a face and a voice for a bigger market, a bigger platform there. Lots of big things going. But yes, I very much, I did. I reached out, absolutely, because it struck me what your method was successful. I scroll through, and you're right, I scroll through endlessly, and I see so many, and for something to stand out, you either have to have a different sound. First of all, it has to be visually catching. It has to sound different, or there has to be a message that is being delivered. And if one of those three things aren't being met, then you're falling into the crowd, and you're not gonna get anywhere like that.
Yes, of course.
So,
That was one of the points I was trying to make to all the other struggling artists who just need to start making content, but they just haven't done it yet.
it's true.
And I was telling them, like, look, you just don't think about it too hard, but just calmly think about, okay, what are some things I can do that match my personality and my brand? And for me, like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm a very funny person. I will say dumb shit all day long, and everyone just eats it up.
For a little bit more context, he was just in his underwear there coming out the closet. Yeah, he was in underwear.
I had to get everyone's attention somehow.
I didn't know what the hell you were doing at first. It was a side thought. After I watched the video twice, is when I realized, is he in his underwear?
Oh, well, it was supposed to be a scene in a horror movie where you just get out of the shower, and my closet is in my bathroom in my apartment, and so it's supposed to be like, I have plenty of intrusive thoughts. I'm home alone in my shower, so I hear a noise, and I'm like, oh no, not now! Come on, let me get out of the shower first.
Oh no!
I'm in here. I'm a defenseless.
Oh my goodness, it was great. It was spot on though.
Yeah, and I was trying to tell them, like, here's where the ideas for these videos come from is I'll be watching movies, or I'll see other people's content, and then if I think it's funny enough, or I'll see it pop up enough, I'll think, okay, I need to make something like this and flip it and make fun of it just to ride the wave of whatever's going around. And so for that one, I had just got done watching the fourth Conjuring movie, and there was one scene where it looks like something's there in the dark until you turn the light on, and it's something normal, but with the lights dimmed like that, it looks like something scary. That's where that idea came from.
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great.
Thank you.
Going on this whole concept of, you teaching other people about making content, do you think social media platforms are helping artists today, or forcing them to become content creators first and musicians second?
That's a tough question. So it's not that social media really, there are some negative sides to it, but it's not like social media really forced anyone to do anything. Because when Facebook and Instagram and all of those things first came out, I was still in school. I was in middle school and I made a Facebook, and I was in high school and I made an Instagram, and it was just everybody else saying, oh, you haven't made one yet? Come on, dude. Like, get with the program, like, let's go. And so I thought, okay, well, I got to get on this. Everyone else is. And so that was just everyone's way of thinking, is I need to get on these platforms because that's just what I feel like I should be doing. And it's a lot of factors that play into it. It's a lot of, okay, everybody's eyes are glued to their phone. So here's a way to, put your music in front of their faces. And it's a lot of times they'll think, oh, I need to message a bunch of people to try to get them over to my page or to my post and say, hey, I just posted something, here it is. A lot of people might get annoyed.
Yeah.
No, now it's a way to, people's eyes are glued to their phones anyway. So if they're just going to be scrolling enough, they're going to come across what I created. And if they don't like it, well, I've got more work to do.
Absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. What advice would you give artists struggling to get noticed online?
Well, let me, before I answer that question, let me just add one more thing. So it is easier than ever to get your music made and put onto streaming services and all that. But social media didn't really do this. It's just the fact that so many people are doing it now, and that the market is so saturated. Social media is the best place for you to get started when you cannot get your foot in anywhere. You need to know somebody. You need to have a lot of friends or a lot of connections. My advice to everybody listening right now is just get on it. You might not be very good at it at first, but it's okay. No one's ever good at anything. It might be very overwhelming. It might be a little discouraging, but if you just try and stay consistent, then you'll get better at it, and then you'll start to see everything else open up, and people will start to recognize you in public. I was just at Illfest, and then some people were like, "Oh yeah, I know you. You're Zakk Emery. You make all those funny videos." Even then, my friend who hired me to work at the Light Strike booth, everybody had little jobs to do. My job, she handed me the megaphone, and she's like, okay, bring everybody in here. So I'm like, good morning, Illfest. Come try some Light Strike. It's got seawater and coconut salt. Or no, shit, sorry. Coconut
Oh my gosh.
and sea salt. Come try some. And
Oh, my other half does stuff like that all the time. Just a big goof all the time.
Hello, you. Hello, new. Hello, early. Hello pump, push. Hello energy, effort. Hello movement. Hello goals and real swole, the best you've ever looked. Hello PRs and PBs. Goodbye couch sitting and TV, or tired and groggy, lackluster and foggy. Instead, say hello to a new version of you. And say hello to Make Wellness, to see what you really can do.
What advice would you give artists struggling to get noticed online? Just do it. You answered it.
Yeah, really, really just do it. And I actually can practice what I preach a little bit because I wanted to live here in Austin for a long time. And I've visited quite a bit and gone to a bunch of shows around here, but I haven't lived in the city until 6 months ago. And I was very scared. I was just scared of, okay, things are going to be a bit more expensive. It's a lot more crowded. Of course, I feel like I have a hard time fitting in until people really start to give me a chance to get to know me. And they're like, oh, okay, I know this guy now. Like, I get it. But from a first glance, and I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with the fact that I might not look like your conventional human being. It goes both ways. Other people will look at me and be like, okay, this guy looks pretty interesting. Let's see what he's about. So my
Don't judge a
advice,
book by its cover.
yeah, well, my advice to everybody is you don't have to change a damn thing about yourself. You take who you already are and then you run with it. And everything surrounding your music, not just your music, just everything surrounding you. Like, if you made music, what kind of music would you make? Just give me a genre.
Oh, me? Oh, it's not an if. And I do. We're into horrorcore, metalcore, and very much EDM.
Okay, great. And what are your hobbies, or what is just something, anything you really like? Like, for example,
I homestead.
You homestead?
Yes, chickens, ducks, goats, cow, geese, all that stuff. Yep. I preserve food, I garden, all that shit. So two very different things.
Okay, yes, but you say you garden, okay? So immediately what popped into my head is like you're in your garden and you're trying to get some roots out of it, and then you get really mad, so you take your gardening tools and you're like, come on, just get out. And then you put your music behind it, and then you go along with the beat. And there's your content, there's your video for the day.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So,
I was just screaming at a fence. I was literally had to go repair a fence earlier today, and it was pissing me off. Oh, yeah, no, you're not wrong on that one. There's content everywhere.
Exactly. That was some more. That's some more of the advice I was giving everybody is you just start filming your life. And even when bad things happen to you, you can turn it. I turned a bad thing that happened to me and turned it into Crucify Me. I spilled salsa on the counter the other day trying to open the damn thing. And I'm just like, shit. Wait a second. Before I clean this up, I turn on the camera and then I get my chips and I'm eating it right off the counter. And
there you go.
Just for the sole purpose of what the fuck is he doing? And then the show was playing, the flyer popped up.
Yeah, it totally works, man. It totally works. Well, if you could leave one message behind for your fans, what would it be?
One message. It's the same kind of theme I've just been going on about for the past half hour of just keep your head up, stay consistent. You can think about giving up, but then also just remember, okay, if you give up now, what else do you have? Yeah, of course, the guaranteed comfort of not having to try or worry about it anymore. But then you're going to have the discomfort of, oh, well, what am I going to do now? What else is there? Like, of course, if you really do have to give up for your own mental health or your own well-being, or you just really, your heart's not into it anymore, then by all means, of course, give up. But if your heart's in it, but it's feeling pretty heavy, your head feels pretty overwhelmed, then just take a break. Find a way to keep, calm yourself down and then come back to it.
Wow, that just hit hard.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been going, well, yeah, no. Quit talking to me right now. We're talking to everybody else. I've been going through some issues of my own right now, actually. And yeah, no, same thing. My heart's there. It's just like, just constantly just getting kicked in the dick, Oh, just overwhelmed. Yeah, a lot of that. But you know what? You have to look at it different. You have to keep going through it. Sometimes you have to take a break, step back, get a breath of fresh air, clarify your head, and then it's amazing how those problems just solve themselves when you give yourself time.
Yes. It might sound kind of silly, but YouTube actually very helps. A lot of times if you type in your very specific problem into YouTube, a video will pop up kind of guiding you through it.
Noted. Interesting. YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to have some time. We're going to talk. I've used YouTube a lot, honestly, for a lot of my homesteading stuff. I've learned a lot from YouTube, and I will vouch that it has been an extremely beneficial resource and tool for not only teaching and researching, but as far as, self-healing and meditation purposes as well. So there is a lot of resources out there. And it's not just on YouTube, guys. There are resources available everywhere. We all need to take a break sometimes. Just, make sure you're taking a break in a healthy manner. Get some good old sunshine. Go out there, get the dirt between your toes, sand, wherever, just reconnect and breathe for a little bit. It'll make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, for the listeners in Austin, just go to Barden. Barden will heal you.
There you go. If you're in Austin, that's where you go, right there. Well, I greatly appreciate you stepping in with us this evening. Underground Nation, let's make some noise one more time for Zakk Emery. Thank you for hanging out with us and sharing your story, your music, and your journey. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Zakk Emery on all streaming and social platforms so you can stay up to date with new music, upcoming shows, and everything he's got coming next. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, head over to underground-nation.com and discover more incredible artists making noise underneath the surface. If you're an artist and you'd like to be featured on a future episode of Underground Nation Podcast, stop waiting and send your information right now to ugnpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, keep supporting independent artists, keep discovering new artists, and remember, the mainstream only shows you what's on the surface. We're here to uncover what's underneath. This is Underground Nation. We'll see you in the shadows. Y'all stay feral.
And that's a wrap on another unforgettable episode of Underground Nation. A massive thank you to Zakk Emery for taking the time to hang out with us tonight and give us an inside look at the music, the passion, and the drive behind the artist. From crushing riffs to earth-shaking bass, Zakk continues to carve his own path and prove that heavy music knows no boundaries. If you vibed with this conversation, make sure you hit that like button, follow, and subscribe to Zakk Emery on all social and streaming platforms so you don't miss a single release, show, or project coming your way. And if you're looking to discover more incredible artists making noise underneath the surface, head over to underground-nation.com and explore everything Underground Nation has to offer. Are you an artist, band, or creator with a story to tell? Then what are you waiting for? Submit your information now to ugnpodcast@gmail.com for your chance to be featured on a future episode. Until next time, keep supporting independent music, keep chasing your passion, and remember, Underground Nation, where the underground rises and the future gets loud. We'll catch you on the next one.